In continuing our discussion on Judaism, I'd like to talk about the different branches of Judaism. Now, as a somewhat side note, the majority of Jews in the world today are descendants of the Ashkenazim, okay, or Sephardim. Okay, so the Ashkenazim are Jews with usually a German descent. Sephardim have more of a connection to Spain. So essentially, just a quick note: you will find Jews, people of Jewish descent from many parts of the world. So you find them in Yemen, Iran, Iraq, and of course, in Eastern Europe or North Africa. The Jewish population spread out, as we mentioned, in ancient Judaism, in the time of the ancient world, and you've had Jewish communities in different parts of the world for centuries. Okay, so it's a very, very diverse population, and also reflects in the religious cultures. So there's a wide cultural difference between these groups. Again, it also plays out in the politics of Israel right now. Okay, so going to the branches of Judaism, there are three that we're going to talk about. We'll talk about Orthodox Judaism, Reform Judaism, and then Conservative Judaism. Now, the first one we'll look at is Orthodox Judaism. And the focus here is submission, okay, to the law. That's the Jewish law, the Torah, which is the first five books of the Bible. Okay, also known as the Law of Moses. Okay, Orthodox Judaism sees itself as the only true Judaism, and its focus is Torah true. Okay, that's its approach to life. You have to follow the Torah. And God personally and decisively revealed himself in giving the Torah to Moses. And so the words of the Torah are divine and fully authoritative. Okay, so that's broadly speaking how just a very, very general overview of Orthodox Judaism. Now, the other or another major branch of Judaism is Reform Judaism. And Reform Judaism was really more of a response to change. Okay, so in the Enlightenment of the 18th century, you had lots of emphasis on reason and progress. So people were very, very much enthralled with the progress science was making. And many Jews began to adapt to this new age. Okay, and so you had to sort of stem this tide away from Jewishness. Certain changes occurred within European Judaism, and so leaders taught that if you wanted to follow, the the path of science, so to speak, right, that was okay to some degree, and that you did not have to accept the revelation of the Torah as factual and binding. So scientific people did not have to accept Torah as factual and binding. So this becomes significant. So, for instance, in the first chapter of the Bible, it gives a story about how God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. Now you no longer have to accept this as factual, right? So you can begin to understand that story more metaphorically or symbolically. So you can see how things begin to change in the relationship one has with the Torah. Also, there were changes in ritual law and worship, and this also affected changes in the synagogue. So, Reform Judaism is the most progressive branch of Judaism, and it is evolving because God's revelation is a continuing process. And so, Reform Judaism seeks to keep current with every contemporary generation by using reason and experience, right, in concert with revelation. And so the emphasis tends to be on ethical teachings rather than ritual law, right? So because the rituals can change with the times, but the key thing is to keep the spirit, the ethics of what God requires. Now, just make a couple more points about Reform Judaism. So it's very highly individualized and non-authoritarian. So that tends to appeal to a lot of people. Authoritarian. It tends to appeal to a lot of contemporary people. And a law is observed because not because God said so, but because it's meaningful to modern religious experience. And Reform Judaism has been very much involved in the dialogue between faiths. So Reform Judaism very often is involved in dialogue between Judaism, Christianity, Judaism and Islam, Judaism and Buddhism. And in the 1970s, you see the emergence of female rabbis. Okay, so that's just a quick snapshot of Reform Judaism. And now let's take one more branch, which is Conservative Judaism. Now, many European Jews were uncomfortable with the radical changes that were introduced by Reform Judaism because it seemed to go, the pendulum seemed to swing from Orthodox Judaism or Judaism the way it was traditionally practiced to Reform Judaism. And so conservatism sort of rose as somewhat of a moderating effect sometime in the 19th century. And so it emphasizes a lot of the positive elements, the positive historical elements of the Jewish tradition. And it makes changes when you need change. Conservative Judaism has maintained a strong emphasis on the people of Israel and on modern Zionism, which is the movement to establish Israel as a modern state and to preserve it as a state. Lay people, that's non-clerical, so not rabbis, have some considerable influence, okay, in conservative Judaism. Okay, so those are the three branches that are the sort of largest ones and the ones that we tend to come across. Now, there are other such smaller movements, such as the Hasidim, the ultra-Orthodox wing of Judaism, and other movements, but these are the three that we are focused on here.